Hello, we are live. Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Welcome to another Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Is anyone burnt out on Halloweeny yet?
I was just saying, we're not yet into October, and I am kind of over Halloween because I've done so many Halloween things.
I
It's but we did put a black cat welcome mat on our front porch,
Ooh,
which our
spooky.
our black cat would appreciate if he was allowed to look out the front door on the front porch, but then he might get out. So he's never going to see it, even though it's there for him.
Oh,
Oh, and we,
I'm
we
sure.
made we made our front porch lights orange
Oh,
with those
cool.
color changing light bulbs. So
I
got to
haven't
change it to match the
done
season.
anything. I might put out like a fake pumpkin or something, but again, I'm still unpacking, so my
You got
life.
bigger things to worry about.
I have bigger
I've
things to worry about.
I've got wrong side. I got my pumpkin friend from
Oh,
Halloween
cute.
Horror Nights past sitting over my shoulder tonight.
I like that guy. Good evening, everyone. Well, good evening to you, Rodney. Thanks
Hey,
for
Rodney.
dropping by. Hi, Blossom.
Hello.
Yes, is this a high five? Can I? You did a hand
Vulcan
emoji.
high five.
Okay, we'll let the room fill up for a few
Yeah.
more seconds. We're
Give
getting up
everyone a
in the numbers.
moment. I'm sure they are all watching the Tonys streaming on Paramount Plus, right?
Listen, okay, I have a bone to pick about this. Theaters just reopened in New York like a month ago. No shows were happening last year. What do they have to give Tony
Oh,
Awards for?
this is for the stuff that opened in like late 2019, early 2020. They never
Okay.
had a ceremony for anything in 2020. So it was a short list. There was like three musicals up for best musical,
Okay.
which I'm guessing is probably going to go to Moulin Rouge, but you never know. I think Jagged Little Pill and Tina were the other two.
I saw some drama about Jagged Little Pill going around.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we don't have to get into it here. This is a musical theater podcast, but
you
it's
better
out
not say
there.
anything bad about Alanis Morissette because she is
No,
God,
it was
as Kevin
about
Smith proved.
how the lead was not treated fairly by the
Oh,
theater team.
well, yeah, you hear a lot of stories like that, unfortunately. Um,
Yo, Attractions Magazine, we're ready
Hello.
for the news. What is up? I'm really
Hey,
excited
Nathan.
because my Broadway and Austin theater package is going to kick off very soon.
Ooh.
Hamilton is first.
Oh,
I'm very
enjoy.
excited.
It's supposed to be coming back around here in the next year. I saw it twice the last time I was in town, and worth every penny.
We splurged for the 6 show package, which includes Hamilton, and this one is like
Nice.
starts with Hamilton, then Hadestown, which is like my holy grail show that I need to see it or I'll die.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Lion King is on there, Mean Girls is on there,
Good.
Tootsie, and Summer, I think.
We're getting some of the same shows as you. We're getting Hadestown. We're getting Tootsie.
Go
Yeah,
see
we got a lot of.
Hadestown if you
We
can
had Mean
squeeze it.
Girls last time.
I think you
Um,
guys get Frozen too, because we're
yes, we
getting
are getting
Hamilton.
we are
You
getting
get Frozen.
Frozen. Yep. It's you gotta. Sometimes you gotta take the bitter with the sweet. No, I'm sure Frozen will be fine. I liked the show at California Adventure.
I
So
did too.
you know, though
Okay.
then I really liked the Aladdin that was at California Adventure better than the Broadway touring show. So
Oh man, I never got to see that one. Well, our Broadway talk has scared off about 10 of our
oh my
viewers.
gosh, bunch of people left because we were talking about Broadway. Sorry, we're gonna talk about theme parks. To be fair, we were talking about Disney related.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So
Don't be haters. Broadway is
well,
cool.
for those of you who survived and passed the test, let's go ahead and do the show.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 106 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by Destinations with Character Travel. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Seth.
and we're here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Seth, how has this past week been for you?
I've been great. Thanks for asking. Lot of stuff going on. A lot of Halloween happening here in Orlando. I'd say the highlight of my week was I got to meet up with our correspondent, friend of the show, Eric O, who's
Oh,
in from
cool.
Hollywood, and got to go with him to SeaWorld Orlando's inaugural Howl-O Scream, the first year that they're doing a haunted house after-hours event. It's out at SeaWorld, and got to meet up with Patrick Braillard, who was at Halloween Horror Nights and is now in charge of Howl Scream for SeaWorld. And got to say, I was really impressed with the job they did, considering the budget, the short time they had to put together. They had some really solid haunted houses, fantastic scare zones. They got a park built for scare zones with all the greenery and the dark twisting paths, and especially the shows. A great dance show called Monster Stomp, and a Sirens show. Really huge potential for this event going forward. So, I'd say that was the highlight of my week. How was your week, Brittany?
My week has been unpacking, as you'd imagine. The house is officially empty, the old place. So, applause
Bravo.
for me. It took a lot of effort.
You're gonna get your
Um,
security deposit back one way or another.
I will, dang it. If you're my landlord and you're listening to this, that was made respectfully. Other than that, well, Fantastic Fest has been happening here in
Hmm.
Austin. If you don't know what that is, it's a big film festival. Lots of first U.S. run pictures that come out between this winter and next spring, summer will premiere here. Um, there was a secret screening on Friday or Saturday night that ended up being Last Night in Soho by Edgar
Hmm.
Wright. And I was so mad because that theater is like 10 minutes from my house.
I'm looking forward to that one.
I'm so excited for that one. And then they've shown a bunch of other stuff. That's been the one movie that I saw get screened that I was like, ugh. And I also watched Midnight Mass over the weekend.
Oh, okay. I've heard some good things.
If
And
you like monologues, lots of
I did hear there was some talking. Yes.
there's lots of monologues, at least one per episode. There's only 7 episodes. Um, Hamish Linklater, I think is his name. He plays the priest, Father Paul, in the show. He needs an Emmy. Just let him
Hmm.
have it. He earned it. The whole cast is great. It's a great kind of um, meditation on loss and death and religious fanaticism, all that jazz. Plus, like some twisty stuff in there. If I tell you, it will spoil it, so I'm just not going to.
Tell me,
Um,
tell me one thing though. I hear it's kind of disturbing if you're a cat lover.
oh yeah, for episode 1,
Yeah.
dog lovers too. They
Hmm.
do not discriminate.
All right. I might stick with Only Murders in the Building for now. That's
I
a little bit
need to
more my
watch
speed.
that. It is great though if you are like a Spielberg, Stephen King fan. It takes a lot of nods from Jaws, especially that kind of thing. So
Hmm.
if you're into that and you can look past the fake animal cruelty, it's pretty good. It's not my favorite Flanagan,
Hmm.
but all Flanagan is good. So
No such Flanagan as a bad Flanagan, just like
all
pizza.
flavors of Flanagan are good. But without any further ado, let's get into the news. First up this week, over at Six Flags Georgia, the Mindbender roller coaster has been renamed and reopened as the Riddler Mindbender.
Um,
Very creative.
yes, bless their hearts for promoting this as a brand new DC villain themed attraction because this coaster's been around since the 70s, I think. And I can remember riding it at least 25 years ago and thinking,
Oh
boy,
wow.
this is in pretty rough shape. This can't last much longer. But it's still going. and, it is historic in the sense that I believe it was the first roller coaster in the world with three loops. Um, and the track and the loops is everything is just the same as ever, but B&M has come in and designed some new trains for them. So hopefully that will make it a little smoother and more comfortable. Luckily, the new trains do not have over-the-shoulder restraints. They are just a lap bar, so at least it shouldn't headbang you too badly.
Yeah. And this kind of falls as the finishing touch on a multi-year project to kind of redo all of Gotham City, that section of the park, making it have 7 attractions in
Mm.
addition to revamped food and beverage shopping and new theming. So very cool. I have yet to go to any Six Flags park, and I know that that's like blasphemous because I have 2 in my state.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a very good Six Flags in your state. I wouldn't necessarily make a special trip to Six Flags over Georgia,
Valid. I'll take it.
but
Uh,
it does have a few good rides. One thing I thought was interesting about this makeover, kind of buried in the fine print, is that previously they had 2 trains, each with 7 rows. Now they are going to have 3 trains with 5 rows each, which would increase capacity if they consistently run 3 train operations. But this is Six Flags, so not really sure if that will consistency is their middle name. So we'll see.
yes. We got a super chat from
Whoa!
Wayne Wallace, the supervillain eater. Thank you for the $5 super chat.
Super Wayne Wallace, I love your name, and I love the fact that you just threw us cash even more. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, if you are visiting Legoland Florida anytime soon and you're a fan of the Lego Masters competition series on Fox, you can check out the top 3 builds on display.
I just got into this show right towards the very end. My family members are obsessed with Legos and got me into this. It's a lot of fun, and it would be really cool if you could go and see in person some of these amazing creations that got these folks to the finals of this competition.
My brain just can't even fathom what these teams were able to do with a bunch of regular Lego pieces.
And they're not even crazy gluing them all together to get them to stick like that. I guess they're all using, regulation, commercially available Lego pieces. But they, if you watch the show, they create some really astounding works of art fairly quickly. They work for months on the like the Lego mini lands and the other sculptures that are in the parks year round. But they throw these together in a matter of day or two, and they're really elaborate. Go online and check out the photos, and if you are at Legoland, you can check them out in person.
Yeah, they'll be on display starting on October 1st in the Big Shop, which is their big box store right at the front of the park when you first
Hmm.
walk in. Over at Kennedy Space Center, they are getting into the food festival biz with the Taste of Space.
Everyone's
Starting,
got to have a food festival now.
that's how it works.
Yep.
From October 8th through November 5th, you can enjoy some seasonal menus, specifically fall bites themed at Orbit Cafe, Moon Rocket Cafe, and the Milky Way Ice Cream Shop.
Yeah, they've got. This is good news if you're spending the day at the Space Center and feeling hungry, because traditionally, I gotta say, their cafeterias have not served gourmet fare. This definitely looks like an elevated, menu for these guys. We've got beef brisket sliders, hot turkey and brie sandwiches, a pumpkin whoopie pie, which sounds kind
Ooh.
of exciting. Um, Bratwurst, which is I'm a big fan of bratwurst in any form, and caramel apple cheesecake. A nice variety of selections that is definitely a step above what they normally serve to guests at the Space Center.
And if you are of age, so ages 21 and up, You can head over to Planet Play for seasonal local brews to enjoy. And any guests who purchase 2 Taste of Space meals can get a complimentary trading pin at the
Hmm.
space shop.
Well,
So
you don't get that at Epcot.
you'll have to save your receipts.
Yeah.
Don't just immediately trash them.
And if you really want to eat your way around Kennedy, there is a grand finale event on November 5th, which is basically a progressive dinner all around the complex. You stop at different locations to have different courses. There's surf and turf. You get to have a socially distanced mix and mingle with former astronauts. And it is definitely sounds like a full evening of eating and drinking under the stars.
It kicks off at 6:30, so you'll be there
Yep.
all night, stuff in your face. Tickets for that are $159 per person, but they include the 4-course meal, beer and wine samples, plus live entertainment, the mingling, and a commemorative pin.
Yeah, it
So,
actually sounds like a decent deal for the amount that you get for that.
yeah, if you need a night to do
Yep.
something and it's just you and a friend or a partner or whatever, it's not a bad deal.
I gotta say, there are so many really great little mom and pop seafood restaurants that I usually don't eat when I'm at Kennedy Space Center. I usually eat on the way home, but this would be worth sticking around and having dinner for.
If you're interested, head over to their website and check it out. This is really cool. Disney Institute, it's an on demand learning service online, is going to host 50 years of magical learnings from the Walt Disney Resort, an online, free, on demand course, kind of like Skillshare. If you've heard of that website before, that is not an ad. Um, but this sounds really neat.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to correct you.
Oh,
When I
heck.
clicked through the website, I kept looking for the price, and when you dig down, it isn't free. It's actually a $400 course that you have up to 1 year to watch. There's I think it said over 20 segments. They range from 5 minutes to 45 minutes. And there are past and present employees of Imagineering and other divisions from Disney speaking on a wide variety of topics. It's self-paced, so you have up to a year to watch it all. And if you complete it, you get a certificate and alumni status for discounts on future events. There are discounts for people who are in the military, students, teachers, other folks, and you can find that by clicking through to their website. But personally, I am old enough, I'm going to date myself. I'm old enough to remember when the Disney Institute was an actual institute, now
Place,
called
yeah.
the Saratoga Springs. But you could go there and stay overnight if you wanted. I never stayed there overnight, but I would go and have dinner and then attend lectures or performances. And it was an amazing thing that it's a little sad that it has now been reduced to an online on-demand video service. But that's where we are. Everything's on Zoom now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea is cool. I hate
Yeah,
the price tag. That
yeah.
sucks.
Well, there is a modest discount if you're a student or one of those other groups. So go check it out and see if it's something that you would be interested in signing up for.
Yeah, this sounds great, especially for those of you listening who may want to be an Imagineer or
Hmm.
work for Disney someday. We have a new friend of Duffy over at Tokyo DisneySea, I believe. Her name is Lena Bell. She's a fox that loves to solve mysteries. She's very cute. I've seen some of the merch for her already, and I want it, but my heart belongs to Gelatoni, so I have to.
I guess you have to pick one of Duffy's pals and
Yeah,
stick with it for
you
life.
pick
Like
one.
you can't just I've said it before that I don't get Duffy.
That's
Like
fair.
I haven't been to Tokyo. Maybe if I did and I met him in person. Though I remember when he was at Epcot and just did not make a big impression on me. However, I'm here to say that I've changed my mind. I've
Yes.
changed my mind
Oh
because
my
of the
god.
adorable stop motion animation that they have made to accompany this launch. If you go to our website and you look up our article on this, there is this incredible, adorable stop motion animation using plush characters, and it is just so cute. It melted my heart.
Oh wow.
So the Linabelle Linabelle is
That's yours.
yes. I have given my heart away. I'm sorry.
Everybody has one. Like I
Everyone, yeah.
literally, I have a gelatoni keychain imported from Tokyo Disney because I have no self control. Josh's favorite is Cookie Ann, so we both have our own favorites. So you have to have a favorite.
Normally I'm a cat person, but that little fox has stolen my heart.
She's so. They've done a ton. If you like the motion animation, they've
Hmm.
done so many little shorts in that same
All
style
right.
with the plushes on the YouTube channel.
All right. I may be a convert now. I'm gonna have to look up the rest of those.
Yes.
It melted my
Uh,
crusty heart.
Frozen and
Hmm.
crackly and oh, that's so sweet. She will make her debut on September 29th at Shanghai Disney Resort. They're going to pull out all the stops for her doing themed snacks, exclusive merchandise.
Of course
The
they
kind
are.
of, yeah, you can expect like plush keychains, like the one I just had, backpacks of their faces, which go very fast and are very highly sought after pieces of merchandise, as well as just like apparel and smaller little items like that. And
Shang
tribal,
is any of this available on Shop Disney to
I
poor
don't
Americans? I don't think
think
so.
so. I think you can get regular old Duffy and Shelly Mae. Those were the only ones that ever made it stateside. Though I think didn't they have Olumel and the Polynesian at one point?
Um, oh,
Extras.
hmm, possibly.
I remember
I don't.
that, but I may be making that up.
Yeah.
um,
Well, so I guess you're gonna have to book a trip to Shanghai. We're gonna finally talk Matt into that, sending us there starting September 29th. Or
just a couple of
in
days.
August of 2022, she'll be joining Duffy and friends in Tokyo. So
Yeah, Tokyo and Hong Kong.
Hong Kong also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be fair to America.
Yeah.
Give us the Duffy friends. They would be so. You could put them in
We
Epcot, and it would be so cute.
we probably wouldn't be nice to them here.
That's
We
true.
would abuse them. We would. This is why we can't have nice things.
A really great video for those of you interested in like the Duffy lore is Disney Dan's history of Duffy the Disney Bear. I watched that last week. It's great. He's a hoot. The Norwegian Prima from Norwegian Cruise Line is set to be the first cruise ship to feature a free fall dry slide, which sounds dangerous.
That it's just a terrifying idea, and if you look at the photos
The photos
of
don't
what this
really.
looks like, it's not any more reassuring. It's basically a giant corkscrew slide that looks to go from the top deck of this giant ship down towards near the bottom. And there's two versions of it. One is these intertwined racing slides, which look like a very tight corkscrew. But the other one looks like a slinky that has been stretched almost to the breaking point. And I guess it's been calculated so that the curve and the rate at which you drop at is basically free fall, which
Uh,
sounds absolutely terrifying.
yep.
At least you won't drown. You will just smash into the hard deck at the bottom, but it will be dry. So I guess I'm
Uh,
wondering. I'm hoping that you're sitting on some sort of sled or mat, and that it is just not your shorts and your bare skin between you and free fall. But
yeah, when I was reading this, the dry slide thing like just did not sit right with me. Because even like wet slides like this are uncomfortable and can be a little
right.
painful on the landing.
They claim it reaches the highest G forces of any cruise line slide. I know that I believe Carnival has on some of their mega ships a giant slide, and maybe Royal Caribbean as well. But this one looks like it takes it to another level. And speaking of another level, there's also going to be a speedway for go-karts that is a three-level speedway, first ever three-level racetrack at sea. And it's going to go in and around the funnel on the top of the ship, which to me sounds like more fun and definitely more track at almost a quarter mile than the roller coaster at sea that I got to try out on the Carnival Mardi Gras a
Oh
while back.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll get to hit speeds of at least 30 miles per hour, though they say more than,
Yep.
but they don't say how much more.
Yeah, well, it depends. That depends on if you hit the curve wrong and go flying overboard. You will definitely hit speeds more than 30 miles an hour then.
I hope they have rescue teams ready or like netting for people that spin out too hard.
Oh
And
my.
15 drivers can go on this thing at one
That's a
time.
pretty substantial track to handle 15 drivers at once.
This whole ship just seems like to have a lot of attraction-y
Yeah,
related
yeah.
offerings.
Including an indoor virtual gaming complex they call the Galaxy Pavilion. There's new simulator experiences, two escape rooms, not one, but two escape rooms. And I know some people really enjoy this. It's the first ever Top Golf at sea. So there's a suite where you can practice your swing.
I just picture, and I know that this is definitely not how it actually is, but just someone hitting golf balls
Golf
off
balls
the
off into
cruise
the ocean.
ship. Yes.
If they can make like golf balls out of fish food, so they're like totally
Oh,
biodegradable,
there you
that would
go.
be awesome.
You can also take part in live game show experiences, like The Price is Right and Supermarket Sweep. I have no idea how that works logistically, but that sounds like a great time.
I wonder if they're actual prizes, and if like on Supermarket Sweep, you would like take the whole roast pig or
Oh my
you know,
goodness.
rack of ribs home.
You take that back to your like 10 by 10 room.
Because you
Like,
would always
oh,
you'd go for the live lobster or whatever, because those were the most valuable per pound. Then what do you do with them? Can you take them back to your cabin? No, I
you
don't
just
think
keep
so.
them in there. It sounds like a ton of fun.
Yeah,
The ship, let's see here. The
does
ship
not
will kick
debut
off,
until summer 22,
yeah,
and I'm not sure where it is going to be initially sailing out of. This is one to keep an eye on.
yes, for sure. Disney Plus Day is coming up. Mark your calendars. It's happening on November 12th to celebrate the second anniversary of the streaming service going live. And if you tuned into last year's Disney Plus Day, it is not one to miss if you care about what's on this streaming service because they show a lot of stuff.
Yep. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yes, of course, they will spoil tons of stuff.
Is this now an official federal holiday? Do we get
Um,
paid day off for?
I we should,
We
but no, I'll
should.
be working
Is it?
dawn till dusk on this
Yep.
day. This is an official Disney company holiday, though.
And
Um,
this year it's not just online, but it's also going to be in the parks and on the cruise ship. They're going
yeah,
to celebrate it with some special in-person events for fans, as they say, rolling out the blue carpet.
that just made me think of something at AMC at Disney Springs. Um, though that would be cool if there was some kind of like photo op at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Yep.
And in addition to all of that, streaming exclusively on November 12th is a ton of stuff that people have been waiting for. There's one in particular I've been waiting for since Disney Plus launched, and I binged all of it. Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will go straight to streaming, so no premiere access there.
No $30 fee required. Excellent.
Disney's Jungle Cruise will be available to all subscribers.
So that's going
Disney's,
to be a double feature day right there.
yes. Disney's Home Sweet Home Alone, which if you have not been paying attention to the trades, they remade Home Alone. You have thoughts?
I actually have surprisingly few thoughts. That was
Okay.
not one that I have a deep childhood attraction to. So I'm okay. They can go ahead.
Disney's Olaf Presents, which is a new series of shorts from Walt Disney Animation, where Olaf kind of recounts the tales of Disney animated features. So basically, that one plot point from Frozen 2 just expanded.
Yep, into an entire series. Okay.
A new short from The Simpsons, kind of advertising Disney Plus. Disney and Pixar's Ciao Alberto, which is related to Luca, the Pixar animated film that came out earlier this year and is
Hmm.
really good if you haven't watched it.
You make me feel guilty. It's literally like at the top of my Disney Plus queue.
It's very
But then I
sweet.
keep watching Star Wars Visions instead, so
Yes, Star Wars Visions is so good.
I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
The World According to Jeff Goldblum, Season 2, Episodes 1 through 5. I loved Season 1. I thought it was so great.
I love Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
The writing and the editing of the series kind of grated on me a little, but I'll give him a second chance.
And then a special look at Star Wars and Marvel projects coming through the pipeline. Off the top of my head, we could maybe see something from Ahsoka, perhaps. Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything is for sure, but
Well, I'm excited to see this special about the history of Boba Fett, because I really hope that it includes some footage from the Star Wars Holiday Special.
oh
I think that's
yes.
only fair.
And then for Marvel, the only things that I can think of would be Miss Marvel, the TV show,
Hmm.
Hawkeye, which comes out this holiday, and it's a Christmas show, so that's perfect. Maybe Moon Knight. I wouldn't count on it, but maybe. And then maybe She Hulk as well. And then for those international listeners in your market, Dope Sick, the series starring Michael Keaton, will be released as part of the Star streaming offerings with Disney Plus.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to put anything called Dope Sick on Disney Plus here in the
I,
States.
I think it's on Hulu here.
Hmm.
Um, but if
That's
you,
where they put all their adult content.
yeah, if you subscribe to Disney Plus, you'll get to access an inaugural fan celebration, which will include breaking news, first looks, trailers, exclusive clips, and appearances from Disney Plus creators and stars. And if you watch Netflix's like the Witcher Day celebration, I would imagine something similar, or Tadum, the Netflix convention thing that's been happening over the weekend. Those kinds of things, just it's like a pivot from the pandemic where everything is online instead of just in person. And
Mm.
in the past, Disney Plus Day was for media only,
Hmm.
for the entire presentation. So this is cool. I'm really excited to see what they let everyone see and what they let just media see.
Yeah, and increasingly it seems like they're going directly to the fans with information and kind of like making the media irrelevant. So we'll see what exclusive crumbs they throw out to which outlets.
Yes, I'm really excited. Disney Plus's original content, while it's been kind of like a slow drip feed over the past 2 years, it's all been pretty decent, if not good.
Mm.
The most recent thing that dropped, Star Wars Visions, is probably some of my favorite Star Wars
Yeah,
stuff we've gotten in a long, long time.
it's kind of overwhelming. You got to space them out. You
Yeah,
you can't binge your way through them.
we watched the Ronin and the Village Bride today, but
Hmm.
we watched Tatooine Rhapsody the other
We
day.
watched that. We jumped straight to that one
That's
first.
what we did
That
too.
was so great.
I got to watch a few of them for a review, and that was the first one. I was like, Josh, we have to watch
Hmm.
Tatooine Rhapsody first. It is so good. I really hope that for future Star Wars celebrations that we get like a Star Wars pop punk band like in world performances.
Right. It's I feel like they watched that documentary on Halix from
Oh
Disneyland.
yeah.
I think it was a Defunct Land documentary about this sci-fi band that lasted at Disneyland for one summer, and I feel like they were inspired by that for this short.
Put that in Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, for
Do
sure.
it. That would be so cool. So November 12th, mark your calendars. It's going to be a big day. Speaking of big days, big for my wallet.
I'm gonna spend so much money at this place. Oh my
I
God.
really hope they put it on Shop Disney because I will be in dire straits if I can't get
All
some
right.
of this stuff. As previously announced, the Vault Collection, which is kind of like a heritage, vintage, repro collection that Disney is putting out to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World, is coming soon with two kind of pop up exhibit shopping experiences,
Mm-hmm.
one at Disney Springs and the other at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, the one in Disney Springs is going into the Marketplace Co-op, which has already been one of my favorite shops because they have really cool dresses. They've got some fun vintage inspired stuff, but now it's going to be all about the 50th anniversary. There's going to be photo ops with vintage props, including some carousel horses from the Prince Charming carousel in the Magic Kingdom, and an adorable statue of the tiki bird that you can take a selfie with. That alone, I think, will have people lining up at the shop. There's also going to be museum style exhibits, some reproductions, some actual artifacts. And you're also going to find a similar exhibit over in the Magic Kingdom's Main Street Cinema. Now, that implies that the candy shop is going to be complete from its refurb soon enough. Because right now the Main Street Cinema is filled up with all the candy that normally goes into the candy store. So hopefully that's all going to be cleared out soon, and you're going to be able to take a picture with looks like a reproduction of Mr. Toad from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and also spend way too much money on funky 70s inspired apparel, old fashioned mouse ears, a lot of throwback stuff. I have some of this kind of stuff actually still sitting in my closet. Um, but it's some of it's a little too worn out or delicate to wear. So this way you can have stuff that you can actually wear.
And some of this stuff, I think Josh pointed out to me that one of the women's T-shirts that they teased was a children's T-shirt from the 70s that they just kind of aged up. And then there's a plate that used to be an ashtray back when Disney
Yes,
sold
yes,
ashtrays.
yes. Back in the day when they had ashtrays and shot glasses.
Yes.
The shot glasses, I think, all became toothpick holders. Yeah, that's right. We use them to hold toothpicks.
And I'm so excited. I really hope they put everything on Shop Disney and not just like a
Yeah.
selection of
Well,
things.
if you can't get what you want, you let me know, and I'll go in person because I know I'm going to be going there with my wife. She will be buying out the shelves.
Just FaceTime me when you go, and I'll be like, give me that and that and that. What's your Venmo? I'll hit you
I
up with
I
the.
just I just hope they impose the 2 items per person limit like they have in the creations shop at Epcot so that we don't see all this stuff hauled off the first day and put on eBay.
I watched so many vlogs from the first day of Creation Shop, and
Hmm.
seeing that 2 item limit sign everywhere was so reassuring. Just because like these collections will sell out in the first day because of
Right,
eBayers, and you'll never see them again. You'll never have an opportunity to buy them unless you want to pay through the nose to get it.
right.
So I really hope that they instill this too, because this stuff, if it will go, it will
Oh yeah,
absolutely go.
yeah.
Very excited. Keep an eye out for that. The electrical water pageant at Magic Kingdom, Walt Disney World, is adding some new features for the 50th anniversary.
Speaking of vintage, this is if I'm correct, this is the oldest continuously operating entertainment on Disney property, I think. I mean, other than it's been down for brief refurbs or whatever during the pandemic, but this has been around since not quite opening day, but pretty close. And the fact that, not only have they not gotten rid of it by now, but they are upgrading it. From the photo that we got posted on the Disney Park social media account, it looks like they are adding a new layer of LED lights in the shape of the Cinderella Castle logo for the 50th anniversary on top of the existing layers of lights. If you haven't seen the electrical water pageant, it's basically these little barges that they basically look like a bunch of chicken wire during the day because they're just layers of basically Christmas tree lights, but they're all programmed and synchronized. So when they light up in different patterns in time with the very retro synthesizer music, it's definitely, it's not happily ever after. It's not high tech at all, but it's really charming. And the fact that they have gone to the trouble of updating this for the 50th, including a version of the celebration anthem song, "The Magic Is Calling," at the beginning and end of the production. The fact they put that time and effort into doing that really kind of makes me happy that they're honoring this, an old attraction, but one that I think still has life left in it.
I really hope that the version of the anthem is kind of like that
Oh,
MIDI
it better
electronic.
be, yes. Oh, it better be in that like Casio keyboard. Yeah, that's what makes it so great. The very low end analog synthesizer sound.
I love it. It was always a nice little surprise if you're walking around the resort loop at Magic
Hmm.
Kingdom and you see it happening.
Yep.
Um, like with many 50th anniversary offerings, they have not said when this will start yet. So I would just assume it will start any day with no announcement, and you'll just see it, and it'll be happening. So
Yep.
keep an eye out. We will update this as soon as we get our own confirmation that it's happening. But very excited to see this capital O oldie get a nice little upgrade.
Oldie but goodie.
Yes. And shocking no one, if you were on Twitter last week, Space 220 is now open at Epcot, and the first day was interesting.
I'm very jealous of our publisher Matt, who got to go in there for I guess a media event on the morning of the opening, because for average people, you didn't have much of a chance. This rope drop for Space 220 this week has been worse than Test Track, worse than Frozen Ever After, worse than Rise the Resistance, which went standby this week.
Wow.
People were waiting 5 hours, 7 hours. People were waiting hours to put their name on a list. People were waiting hours to be told that they couldn't put their name on a list. It just was just not a great look from the outside, but everyone who got inside had nothing but raves about the experience.
um, the experience, so for those who don't know what Space 220 is, it's a restaurant that follows the sort of thematic experience that you are traveling 220 miles up into space to have a gourmet meal with views of Earth. Um, and of course, it's space themed. You walk past like a grow house that seemingly goes on for miles.
Hmm.
There is an actual elevator experience, and I've tried to avoid looking at a ton of stuff because this is something I would like to experience organically.
Yeah, I spoiled myself because I know I'm not getting inside there anytime soon. And it's neat. It's definitely the next level technologically speaking of the old hydrolators that they had at the Living Seas. Except this elevator, I believe, actually does go somewhere. At least a
Oh,
little bit, doesn't it? I'm not
I
sure.
I do not know.
I have to take a look at the footprint. I'm not entirely sure if the restaurant really is on the second floor of the building, or if it's all just an illusion. But obviously, you're not going up into space in this elevator. You're just, a little bit of simulated motion and some really cool projected visuals both below you and above you. So you see the Earth getting smaller and disappearing below, and you see the spaceship coming into view above you. I think the funniest thing is how they very strategically placed clouds over the center of Epcot. So as you lift, you can sort of see the gold dome of Wonders of Life in the shape of Test Track, but you don't see anything about what's happening in the middle of Epcot, where it's just a construction zone. That was very smart of them. They could just fudge that and not have to update that every few months for whatever's happened
I
to the
wonder if
center
they
of Epcot.
will update it to the finished product once everything is done in there.
Yeah, it does seem to me because you can see the building, the for the ride of Guardians of the Galaxy out behind the old Universe of Energy building, and so I'm not sure how much updating they would have to do from an aerial perspective, as long as they keep that cloud there.
So if you go, they have lunch and dinner options. They're both prefix
Hmm.
meals, but it seems very cool. You can choose like a window seat or a table seat kind of in the middle. I've seen people say that the middle table seatings are the best because
Mm.
you get a more expansive view instead of being just parked in front of a window. Um, Starts at 11:30 a.m. And today was the last day that you could do a walk-in.
Yeah, and the
They were
only people who got in on walk-ins today were people staying in on-site resort hotels, because today was also the start, or the soft opening at least, of early entry. There's now
uh,
30 minutes early entry for hotel guests, and that's just enough time for them to completely fill up all of the walk-ins for the day.
reservations will officially be underway and be taken starting tomorrow. Today, if you're listening to the audio version,
Yeah.
September 27th. Lunch and dinner are priced at $55 and $79 respectively. Kids lunch and dinner is $29 for both.
Yeah, and the bad news is that they opened up reservations on the first day the restaurant started serving people, and they were gone within an hour or so. They're completely booked for the entire booking period right now. Basically, all you can do is get on there, in the middle of the night, and check for the furthest day out, or search around on the internet for one of these reservation hunting systems for you that might be able to find a cancellation. But this is going to be a really, really hard table to get for a long time.
And another thing, if you get a non alcoholic beverage, and I'm surprised more people haven't been talking about this because exclusive trading card things seem to go like crazy at the
Hmm.
parks. If you purchase a non alcoholic drink, you get a pack of exclusive trading cards that
Hmm.
you can only get at the restaurant if you order one of their specialty non alcoholic beverages. It's like a little pack of cards. I haven't seen them, but I think Matt may have gotten a pack. But it seems neat. And then, of course, the windows outside will showcase a few spaceships from across the Disney parks that you might recognize.
Hmm.
Um,
You might even see some astronauts with lightsabers.
that's how do you feel about that?
I I don't know how I feel about that, especially since it looks to me like the graphics weren't done very well for that, because when they turn their lightsaber off, you can still see the blade. I think they literally just filmed a couple guys with toy lightsabers against a blue screen.
I can't remember. Someone in one of our attractions group chats, I think it might have been Matt, said that it was storylined like they were two tourists doing a spacewalk with toy lightsabers.
They're supposed to be toy lightsabers.
There's,
Okay. So
yeah,
it's intentionally cheesy. All right.
I think it's dumb. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it and be the party pooper. I think
All
it's
right.
stupid.
I will not disagree with you at all.
There we go. You know where we stand. I'm just like the one place where Star Wars doesn't have to be shoved into everything.
Yeah.
And they,
It's just a little too wink wink nudge nudge.
yes.
Yeah.
But you can check out our full dining experience over on our YouTube channel and read more about the website now on our website. Probably will not get to do this one for a hot minute, but
Yeah.
I hope you get to.
I hope I do too. I'm gonna keep checking for cancellations, but I'm not holding my breath. That
Um,
was an outer space joke, so it was
oh,
pretty
oh
bad.
yeah. And then in our last bit of news before we go, Seth got to do a very special interview this past week with some of the tortured and demented minds behind Halloween Horror Nights.
Well, I'm sure they feel tortured and demented after working so hard on the event, but they're actually
Yes,
all very nice people. Yeah,
yes.
I got to meet with Laura Sauls, who's one of the senior. I'm gonna get her title completely wrong here, but head honcho, one of the higher ups, who's been there for a long time, and contributed a lot to the legacy of Halloween Horror Nights. And we also had a special surprise guest who dropped in and made things a little more interesting. Uh, Hi, Allie.
What's up,
Uh,
Allie?
she was there. She knows. Yes, hopefully we will have that audio delivered to us soon and be able to slide it in right here, and you will be able to listen to my Halloween Horror Nights interview and an encounter with a certain clown who you might have heard of before.
Oh, what a tease. So if you are watching the video version, I'm sorry, I don't have it to play for you right now. So you'll just have to listen to the audio version when it comes out this week.
It's worth it.
It's worth it, I promise. And before we get to this week's main attraction, let's have a quick word from our sponsor.
Here at Destinations with Character Travel, we offer the best experience with your travels. Need to visit the thrilling Disneyland Resort, Walt Disney World? Maybe lounge about on a Disney cruise or any other major cruise line? No problem. So if you're looking for a stress and hassle-free vacation, visit us at www.destinationswithcharacter.com. Contact us today and let us plan a magical vacation for you and your family.
It's time for the main attraction!
And this week's main attraction is, lo and behold, another update as far as health and safety in the parks. This time at Universal Studios Hollywood, they have recently added an outdoor mask requirement inside the park, not City Walk, ahead of a new mandate coming to LA County.
Yeah, this is pretty much taking them back inside the park to where we were 6 months ago or so, when the parks first reopened, and everyone, regardless of vaccination, had to wear a mask at all times. The only exception is while you are eating or drinking, and I believe they want you to do that standing still or sitting down somewhere. It's not free license to just wander around without a mask because you've got a soda in your hand.
The new mandate that this relates to officially launches its effectiveness on October 7th, but it has some interesting language, and I looked up the mandate and read through it, combed through, and it says that outdoor mega events, which it classifies theme parks as outdoor mega events, will have to mandate that guests above the age of 12 will show proof of their full vaccination against COVID-19 or a recent negative COVID test, and self-designation of this. So being like, oh yeah, I'm fully vaccinated, does not count. You have to show your card.
The statements coming from Universal on that point are a little confusing. It basically says we're going to follow the guidelines and we're working through exactly what they mean. To me, the plain language of the new mandate, it very specifically says theme parks are included. Past mandates have not included theme parks, but this one does. So unless a new mandate is issued that changes that language and removes the word theme parks, or they somehow argue that Universal Hollywood somehow is not a theme park now, that they're going to have to follow this rule. And I can imagine, especially with Halloween Horror Nights, this is going to be challenging operationally to confirm, are they going to have their own employees responsible for looking at each person's COVID vaccination card and checking the dates and making sure it's valid? Or are they going to partner with some sort of third-party company where you'll have to register with them ahead of time, and then they'll be doing the the work.
Yeah.
There's also the option of having a negative PCR test, but I think that has to be taken no more than 72 hours before your visit. That's really hard if you're a tourist trying to plan a trip to get a PCR test after you've landed in California. It's a lot of complications. I think it's very telling that no word of them doing this here in Florida, because we have a very different political climate here in Florida, and I don't think there's any chance of our governor encouraging a mandate like that here.
No. Another thing that's interesting with the outdoor mega events classification is that it's specifically for venues like theme parks or concerts or stadiums that can accommodate 10,000 people or more per day.
So in theory, if they wanted to limit their attendance to 9,999 happy haunts, they could, I guess they could get away with that. The question is, are you losing more business? Are you losing more business by putting on a capacity cap, or by enforcing something that's going to probably upset a sizable proportion of your audience?
Yeah.
I think it's lose-lose either way.
I think it might have been a Los Angeles news outlet that said that Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is also located in LA County, is under that 10,000 threshold for daily attendance, though it's not specific whether they're going by daily capacity history or park capacity overall. Like Magic Kingdom can hold, I think, like 90-something thousand people, but they don't always have 90-something thousand people in the park every day. Though it might feel like it.
They've got until October 7th to straighten it out and come up with a clear policy that people can understand. But sooner the better, because, people, Hollywood is more a locals park. It's not something that people generally plan a whole vacation around. But, if you are planning on taking a trip out there and you suddenly don't know whether you need vaccination or a negative test, it would be nice to have a clear answer on that before the rules go into effect.
Yeah, this actually affects me because I'm going on vacation very soon, and I will be visiting Universal Hollywood after this has gone into effect. So I located my vaccine card.
Good for you.
And you can't laminate them. I found out.
No.
So I'm shopping around for like a case to put it in.
Yeah.
To keep it safe. But I'll let you know what it's actually like on boots on the ground. But
report back. Give us the skinny.
But I really hope that they figure it out, because I don't mind if I have to take my vaccine card and be like, yeah, I'm fully vaccinated. Here's my dates. But just I feel bad for the team members that will have to ask those questions.
Yes, they deserve hazard pay for, if they're on the front lines for that. Yep. I hope they beef up their guest services staffing, because there's going to be a long line at the complaints window, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I've seen a ton of. I mean, I watch vlogs to keep up with everything because I don't live in Orlando anymore. But a lot of the Universal Hollywood Horror Nights vlogs, just like not a ton of mask wearing in general, in and outside of buildings. I mean, people do. Maybe it's just like those who are in the camera view have it pulled down under their noses. So
I was actually a little surprised. At Halloween Horror Nights here in Orlando, guests are not enforced to wear masks indoors or out, and I saw very mixed usage among the guests, but among the employees I saw universal masking, including actors and ops. Whereas in Hollywood, I've watched a lot of videos of walkthroughs in Hollywood's Horror Nights and seen a lot of unmasked employees and employees getting a lot closer to the guests than in Orlando this year. Everyone's back behind a barrier or on a platform, and there's very little that's in your face, and it doesn't seem that way at all in Hollywood.
I can't think of a single maze video I've watched for Hollywood that has plexiglass in it.
Yeah, no, they don't seem
except
to be
for
using
Halloween.
that at all. They don't seem to be using that, and certainly not, where everything here in Orlando is a vinyl sheet or a boo hole. And yeah, so it's really interesting how the same company, depending on which coast they're on, can have a really different policies.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see what happens on or before October 7th when they straighten all this out.
I will be bringing my mask to wear all the time.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's anytime you're, especially indoors, or when you're outdoors and can't get more than an arm's length away from people, especially a situation like Halloween.
Yeah.
You know, I even though I was outdoors, I kept mine on a lot.
Yeah, I'm also packing plenty of hand sanitizer.
Yep. Because the dispensers are all empty. I'm sorry, they've all been drained. They haven't been refilled. Sorry.
It's your fault. I'm blaming you for
I
that
did, because I used like every time I see one, I compulsively go over to stick my hand under, and then I wait, and okay, this one's not working. All
right. But that's everything that we had for this week. A full hour.
Dead on.
Dead on, full hour. And before we go, I do have some listener thank yous to share this week.
Yay!
So in case you do not know, Attractions Magazine has a 4-tier subscription plan. And if you choose the club or VIP tiers, the week after you subscribe, you get a shout out here on the podcast. So this week, big applause and thanks to Mario Mueller, Lane, and Andrew Singer. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yay. Shout out.
And if you are interested, our fall issue is available now over at attractionsmagazine.com/store. Sorry, I was going to say shop, but then store. And there is a digital subscription option available if you want to save a few trees, but still get your Attractions Magazine news.
And I want to give one last big thank you to our friends at Destinations with Character Travel for supporting us, as always. And to remind you to head on over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and please give us a 5-star rating, leave us a positive review, share the word about the Attractions Podcast with all of your friends or enemies, if you prefer. And you can find us during the week on social media. I am at theunofficialguides.com. On Twitter at the UG Series, or on Instagram at the Unofficial Guides. And Brittany, where can they find you?
They can find me at Brittany Tuttle. That's BRITTANITUTTLE. Yes, it's spelled funny. On Twitter and Instagram, but every day at attractionsmagazine.com, at Attractions on Twitter, at Attractions Magazine on Instagram, and youtube.com/attractionsmagazine, where you've been hanging out with us for the past hour. And until next week, I hope you guys stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.